Welcome back to your daily basketball recap. My name is Levi Jacob. Today, because there's kind of lack of basketball news, I thought for the next few episodes that we're going to be going through my personal picks for the upcoming year's awards. So the one that we're going to start off with is the Defensive Player of the Year, or otherwise known as the Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy. Last year, Evan Mobley won the award itself. He had a great defensive year. Notably, Victor Wembanyama was on pace to probably win this award. By all accounts, but then he got not injured, but he had the blood clot, so he had to remain out for most of the season, which ruined his eligibility. So Evan Mobley took the title home last year, and not to take anything away from him, he had a very, very good defensive season while also adding to his offensive repertoire. Overall a great season, definitely deserving. But Victor Wembanyama was putting up, monstrous stats, and was definitely, you know, I would say more deserving in his own right. Coming runner-up was Dyson Daniels for the Atlanta Hawks. He had a historically crazy steal season for the Atlanta Hawks on defense, obviously. Third was Draymond Green. Fourth was Luguentz Dort, along with Alex Caruso and a little bit of Cason Wallace there. They were some of the best point-of-attack defenders. Lou Dort was the best point-of-attack defender in the NBA statistically last year. It showed on the court. Just was excellent. So I actually thought he was actually my pick for who should have won Defensive Player of the Year. But honestly, again, you can't really be mad at Evan Mobley winning it or these other guys being ahead of him. Like, all of these players were such impactful defensive players. So it's totally valid. And the last one was Amen Thompson. The beginning half of the season, it wasn't as obvious, or maybe I would just say until right before All-Star break, it wasn't as obvious his impact that he had for this Rockets team. Notoriously last year he had that game against Steph, where Steph only hit 3 shots. Like he was very, he's a really excellent defender, such an incredible athlete, and defensively he just gets it. So that rounds out the top 5 of the defensive player of the year last year, defensive players of the year last year, at least as voting goes. Here are my top 5 picks for this upcoming year, with ultimately the winner. I think in second this year, Evan Mobley will come through again. Ending second is nothing to no big embarrassment at all. I just think that as his career progresses, he's gonna just unlock more and more things. I think that his defensive mobility is really what's going to take them into another place, and his offensive ability to just be more consistent offensively is going to really play a big role, especially, most players as they go along in their career, they kind of develop a better consistency. So I think that his defensive prowess is really what's going to change the Cavaliers' outcome this season potentially, and I think that he can just make good on what he did last season. Number 3, Chet Holmgren. I think that he would have been in this discussion last year as well. He just didn't play for most of the for I would say half the season because of injury. Chet he's an awesome defender already. He's, I think, 23. He big part of the Thunder winning that championship. He's able to roam. He's able to guard bigs, not such physical bigs yet. He has to put on more weight, obviously. As you see him, he's kind of a stick, but he's just great in almost all defensive situations. Because he's so lanky and skinny, he's also has the quickness to be able to catch up to people. His lateral quickness is pretty good. And I just think that this year he'll have, the hip that he broke last year, he'll be able to have it better managed. So he'll be, just more in a normal state, and he'll be able to actually produce defensively. Jalen Suggs is, I think, going to be after him on this list. I actually have a lot of faith in Jalen Suggs. He's an elite defender already in his career. He's still very young. And I think that because Desmond Bane is going to come in and take up so much of the playmaking for him, he won't be required to do as much on offense, and defense is where you really see him shine. And I think that he's really capable of it. He's defensively, he's just another thing, like a whole other animal, and I think he's going to be a very, very impactful point of attack defender for this team as well. After him is Lou Dort. Lou Dort, I think, is going to again be the Thunder's. They're basically going to run it back. So he's going to be again their primary point of attack defender. I think Alex Caruso, as he gets older, also is going to be missing more time. He's not so crazy old either. But Lou Dort is just going to again improve on what he did last season. He's still in his prime. He's still as tenacious. I think that this season I've seen a lot of people talk about how OKC, how are they going to repeat? Are they going to try to win 70 games? Maybe they don't have that same fire. I think everybody feels like the general consensus is if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get injured, the Pacers might have won that finals. And I think that they have a chip on their shoulder to go out there and prove to everybody, not the case. We're here to stay. We're the real deal. We aren't an asterisk by the Pacers. So I think that the same goes on defense. Lou Dort has never taken a playoff in his life. And of course, people talk about the physicality, how, all these different things. I just think that he's going to remain to be such a good player. And as he does that, there's no way that you can keep him out of this. And lastly, the player that I think is going to take home the Defensive Player of the Year this year by a mile is Victor Wembanyama. I think that he will play this whole season. I think that he will end definitely top 10 in the NBA, if not top 5 in overall, not MVP voting, but just player voting in general. He's going to be a remarkable talent without many other players that are going to take away main, Defensive Player of the Year and MVP votes. He's going to be remarkable. Like we all know that he can be, and we all know that he is. He would have won it last year if it wasn't for the blood clots. I think it's so obviously going to be Wemby. I don't think that he's going to win like 5. I think that there's enough good defensive players that are going to, really step up their game and really separate that. But I have a lot of faith in Wemby that this year he's even more hungry for it. It'll happen. He will come home your NBA Defensive Player of the Year for 25-26. This has been your daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you all for watching and listening. I want to thank Shlomo for being the best co-host. We're going to be getting back to that soon. Preseason is coming. I want to thank Max for producing. I want to thank you all for watching and listening and liking and subscribing and all that good stuff like you have been so recently. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.